Sundowns. 4 fixtures left. Tonight is another key game for the Buccaneers if they are to keep up the pressure on the champions.
It's really good for the boys. Give them trust, and we are going to rest, but we are going to fight until the end. Yeah.
Makanda! Those 2 goals just before half-time make the difference. Orlando Pirates are still very much in this title race.
A warm good evening. Welcome to our coverage of the Betway Premiership, and the action that has taken place yesterday saw some fascinating results, with Pirates too strong at a sold-out Athlone Stadium for Stellenbosch. Then Swelele and Durban City. Luamba getting a brace there. Durban City fighting to stay alive in that one. Magesi Orbit City was huge as Orbit College moved off the bottom of the table by virtue of the result that they were able to get their 2-1 victory. And Koto on the score sheet, as well as Matchday. It was rained out as far as Chippa United and Sekhukhune United last night, but this afternoon they came back to finish that one, and it was Chippa United who have finished rather rapidly by Sekhukhune, with Mashalwani on the score sheet, Mandi on the score sheet, and then Ndovu scoring for Sekhukhune, all in the first half of that encounter. And Chippa United consolation goal coming later from Madruas in the second half. Now, what is coming up today? Fascinating matches. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs. That is number 1 on the log table up against number 3 on the table. Chiefs have the pressure of knowing that Usutu, Amazulu are just 5 points behind and are involved in a derby against Golden Arrows. And that 5 points behind is all about the CAF Confederations Cup. Whoever finishes third is a battle that Kaizer Chiefs are in right now. And then when we look at what's happening as far as Marumo Gallants, now bottom of the table against TS Galaxy, it is time for Galaxy and Gallants to fight around the relegation zone. For Galaxy, they could be dragged into the relegation fight, and they'll be looking today to try and avoid that. Here is how that table looks, and in studio with me I've got Sia Ndlovu, a former Thiankosi. Sorry, why am I saying Ndlovu? Thiankosi, the former Kaizer Chiefs man. And Sia, Chiefs, there is pressure. There is a reason for Kaizer Chiefs to come out and play massively today against Kaizer Chiefs.
There's every reason actually to get the 3 points today, because if you look at Sekhukhune and Amazulu, there's still a chance with the 3 games left to 4 for Kaizer Chiefs and Amazulu, Amazulu playing today. So you want to just extend that cushion. You do have the 5-point cushion, but then this is a big game. This is a game that everybody wants to play, and winning it and also consolidating a 3rd place would be an added bonus. So
30 points is normally where you avoid relegation. Galaxy take on Marumo Gallants at the bottom of the table. Coach Shorty, that is massive, especially when you consider that Orbit left the bottom now, gone.
Yeah, Orbit College and Magesi, they've been carrying the league for so long, you know, and Orbit, they can get a bit of a breather. They were happy with their victory yesterday, but they did say, Axilula. In Magesi, I would say their troubles and their problems started when Coach Clayton Larson played the Carling knockout and he resigned there, because he was a coach that said, I have a team of players that are not as talented, but they're hardworking. I need to have a strategy. And so far, there's no one else that has come in. Actually, Owen Dagama did try when he saved the status. But after that, they didn't pick up from that. Instead, they went all the way down. Chippa United, they're still in the mix a bit, because you look at Marumo, they have 4 games. If they get the good points in all the games that they have to play, it changes their log completely for them. So from Chippa United to Gatle, TS Galaxy, we can still throw them in the mix. They haven't won a match in the last 10.
Gooby at the bottom of the table, and we'll be keeping an eye on all of that for you today as we bring you a massive Wednesday night's worth of action when it comes to the Betway Premiership. Coach Miguel Cardoso, the 53-year-old man from Portugal, has a hectic schedule. Played on Wednesday against Polokwane City, played Sunday against Polokwane City, got victories in those 2 games, back again today. That's 3 games in 7 days, essentially, for Mamelodi Sundowns. And now the big battle for these men is Kaizer Chiefs.
And before that, they were down in Richards Bay. And before that one, it was Stellenbosch. So it's a tough schedule for them. But they do have experience, Abu Zwane, to actually deal with this kind of situation. Because both teams actually have been engaging in Africa this season. So their schedule has had to be flexible. I don't think for Sundowns, it's an excuse anymore because they've been doing this for the past, 10 seasons now, and they've been doing well, juggling around and also getting the results.
Chiefs come off the bus, and the bitter taste of defeat will still be there. Swelele, 2-0 was the scoreline in the last encounter, and that ended a 7-run unbeaten run for Kaizer Chiefs. They'll want to get back into that, Shorty.
Absolutely. I personally would say Chiefs has had a good season. I mean, starting out in August already, getting a draw against Sundowns, and they had a good run. They were in the in CAF competitions they played. They were defending champions of the Nedbank Cup. So you look at them, and if Louis Ditia Moshega in certain elements in certain games, however, they've come back stronger every time. And the layer 2-0, we are born with basebenze kakhulu ngeDerby and bakhohle ukuthi sekumele attack.
But coach, Mauti, they had a good season. I got paid this season. Mauti, they had a good season. Kusaselama game, including today's massive encounter where the support for Kaizer Chiefs will be coming from all over Soweto.
And I'm saying they had a good season because they might think it might be difficult for them to end in the top 3. They might not see themselves as a team that was competing throughout. They were competing throughout because namhlanje they need to take that confidence into the game to say we've actually had a good season, we've done well, and we might end up going back into the CAF competition again. So that positive mentality is what has been helping them to garner good results where it mattered the most as well.
And today it matters because when we look at the stats, against Mamelodi Sundowns, today will be the 60th time in the PSL area that the two sides are playing each other in the league. And it's actually very interesting what those results look like. Sundowns have won 22 times. Kaizer Chiefs have won 21 times. Now, no team in the league has actually beaten Mamelodi Sundowns in that PSL era as much as Kaizer Chiefs. If there's a hoodoo team, yiyole, see ya.
And it's very difficult to go to Sundowns and get a win. Because the last time it happened was when Cape Town City actually broke the record in Loftus.
Last day of the season.
Now, in the Cup, Kaizer Chiefs went to Loftus and got a win and progressed to the final. So it's the team that is capable of winning there, even though it hasn't happened in the last 4 games in the league. But Sundowns know very well that Kaizer Chiefs can come in and cause a bit of upset, even though Sundowns are actually on top when it comes to how they've been performing because of the last 10 games. They haven't even lost. They've actually been just on top and constantly improving and improving.
And the Chiefs are losing a Wednesday against the Sundowns. The last time was 4 seasons ago. The Chiefs lost on a Wednesday against Sundowns. The previous encounter, 0-0, they played on a Wednesday. So can you... And Chiefs had never lost on a Sunday, but Lalane Pirates. So listen to us.
Here's the thing, though, Sia. You've worn the gold and black of Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
And when you look on the social media streets, when you're running into Amakosi supporters, the rivalry against Orlando Pirates, given the log situation, ahead of the result and the win today. Where do you stand? What do you think is the approach that is now weighing on the minds of supporters, players?
You know what happens when you are in the camp, in the dressing room, even before the game, then the noise gets muted. I think the coaches actually do a lot in trying to control that because it helps you a lot as a player. So you don't get affected by that noise. And it's a banter that is happening outside the dressing room, outside camp, that is for the fans. It belongs to the fans. Kaizer Chiefs players, the technical team, and everybody that is involved with the team, they understand their problems currently. They understand their ambitions, their aspirations for the remaining games of the season. Trust me, they're not even thinking about whatever banter that is going around out there.
There you go. So we're expecting to see a very strong performance from both of the sides, because for Mamelodi Sundowns, with the CAF Champions League final on the horizon, it's 3 points that they'd like to get to try and get a little bit closer to securing the Betway Premiership title. For Kaizer Chiefs, victory for them is important in trying to make sure they keep the door shut on those chasing them for the CAF Confederations Cup places next season. Lwazi standing by for me at a sold-out Loftus Versfeld, no ticket available, which is why you're watching us here on the World of Champions. And Lwazi, sold out. It couldn't be more in terms of the stakes. And we were talking about the banter of the fans. Are you hearing supporters behind Kaizer Chiefs, their supporters right behind them, or are they conflicted, given the fact that a victory for Kaizer Chiefs could potentially put Orlando Pirates, their arch rivals, back into that title race in a big way?
Very good evening to you, Thomas. Good evening to your team in studio and everyone else who's watching and waiting for this, the latest blockbuster tie in the Betway Premiership. And it is a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it, Thomas, the question you've asked, because there are a very considerable number of Chiefs fans who don't mind losing today, because it does mean that Mamelodi Sundowns, as you've mentioned, get closer and closer to winning and indeed defending their Betway Premiership title. Pirates fans who are here are feeling as if perhaps Kaizer Chiefs can indeed do themselves or do them a favor as well in beating this particular side in Mamelodi Sundowns. Beating Mamelodi Sundowns here, as we all know, much easier said than done. I want to start with Mamelodi Sundowns, particularly because after last week, the weekend that is, Coach Miguel Cardoso did touch on the fact that he was extremely happy with both the result and indeed the performance. At the end of the day, the sequence and everything else that comes with it suggests that Sundowns, they win their last 3 games over the next 6 days and they retain what is their Betway Premiership title. I did ask Coach Cardoso if the equation is that simple. You'll be hearing from him in a short while. 2 changes then that he's made for this encounter against Kaizer Chiefs. In comes Kulisa Mudau down the right, and his 2 hitmen swap positions at up top. That is Ikram Reyners, who starts on the bench. Brian Leon gets a start this evening. For Kaizer Chiefs, 3 points just as important. You've touched on that as well, with both Amazulu as well as Sekhukhune United hunting them in 4th and 5th respectively. However, the big question with them is, what is their capacity physically at this late stage of the season to do both a job here and finish the season strong? Haven't quite been sprinting towards the finish line themselves, have Amakosi, winless now in their last 3. And we saw just a week ago in Bloemfontein what that physical toll of the Soweto Derby did to them. The good news in that front is that both Cross as well as Ndlovu are back in the starting lineup, having missed the trip to Bloemfontein. There's also a return for the first time in 3 matches to the starting lineup for Flavio da Silva. He is Kaizer Chiefs' top goal scorer. They've only scored 1 in their last 3, so perhaps a good time to bring him back into that starting lineup. Only 4 starts in his in the last 8 matches for Flavio da Silva. He has scored in 2 of those previous 3. So that's pretty much then the story out here at Loftus Versfeld. It is extremely cold, miserably cold. So we asked both Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs to perhaps go on and warm us up in the nation's capital. In a while, we'll be hearing from the coaches. For the time being, though, Thomas, back to you.
Lwazi, before I let you go, I just need to find out something about the conditions that they're going to be playing on. Johannesburg, Pretoria have seen massive amounts of rain over the last couple of days, and we've seen games even postponed. I did wonder whether that pitch would be impacted by how much rain we did have yesterday, and whether that might have a role in the kind of football we're going to see today. You're wearing your Kikon Boboza, which means it's looking good there.
Listen, Thomas, it certainly is looking good, and I'm thoroughly impressed with the pitch conditions here at Loftus, particularly, as you mentioned, due to the weather over the last couple of days. As has become customary here at Loftus, there was a bit of a sprinkling of water over the last 20 minutes or so ahead of kickoff, so it suggests that the groundsmen and everyone else involved are very happy with the drainage system and indeed happy with what the pitch conditions do look like ahead of kickoff. It is pinpoint condition, it has to be said. Fantastic condition here at Loftus, and it certainly is going to favor both Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs in that regard.
That's the question that I'll put to the guys here in studio. Thanks, Lwazi. I'll hear from you with the coaches very shortly. However, but all right, I'm no excuse. Pitch him nand.
And the more grip
But
watering for 20 minutes, it means Guti, they want the ball to skid away, they want fluidity. That is the home team. Meaning Guti Chiefs need to look at themselves, Guti, how do they kill the depth behind? Where do they let off the speed? I mean, the spaces for Sundowns to occupy.
Who are those players that benefit as we take a look at the starting lineup here from the way that Mamelodi Sundowns like to play? The ball zipping, the ball coming off that pitch, and the starting lineup that has been selected by Coach Miguel Cardoso. Is this as strong as they can be? And when you look at it, why has he gone with the players he's gone with today?
Well, it's basically informing how he wants to play, because obviously the back four with Kekana not being, in fact, being on the bench, I think it's informed by the fact that he won't be playing in the Champions League final. But this trio in the midfield is very interesting because now Jaden sits as a 6 and then the 2 8s in Allende and Mukwena. And then up top you have a Leon and then a Matthews providing width on the left, just in front of Obi, and opening the right channel for Mudau to actually gallop forward. So it's very interesting where Obi also tucks into the midfield and add numerical advantage.
Tembazwani starts. That's huge. Then you've got Reyners sitting on the bench. He's the second top goal scorer in the league, but Leon sits. Explain it.
I think the coach also wants to make sure they've got enough depth coming off the bench, because Sundowns is a team that has scored more than 10 goals with the players coming from the bench, which means they want to finish strong as well. They want to start strong, keep consistency. And I think the coach is also alternating to say how they want to go with the reference point, Diaga Leon, because there's so many players that will be running in the half spaces. Matthews does that, Zwane does that. You've got also Allende that does that. And the 2 sitters behind Adams and Mukwena are the 2 Ababama security about former layer box between Adams, Cupido, Ndaman, and also Mukwena, which also Sia mentions very much. It will be interesting to see where Mudiba moves and how Mudau also comes in. He's fresh, didn't start the last game, meaning Guti, they are firing all cylinders, because if Sundowns wins, or doesn't win today's match, it compromises their league title defense, because Pirates is really breathing
2 points behind.
Absolutely, and Pirates has better goal difference as well.
So there you go with Coach Miguel Cardoso's starting lineup, looking like one that is truly impressive and truly capable of putting the pain to Kaizer Chiefs. Is there a weakness? Is there something that can be exploited there in that Sundown side, Dacia?
Yes, of course, and that's what Stellenbosch did, because now I spoke about an Aubrey getting on the inside, and Stellenbosch scored from that mix-up where even a Mudau was caught on the wrong side. There is that chance, and it's unfortunate that Duba is not there with his pace, but then Lelepo can get behind in that space. It's going to be locked on the right because Mudau has outstanding recovery. Yes, but when it comes to, because Chiefs are very strong on the sides, and I think that area on the side of Modiba is where they can get in, because in the center, very different. Chiefs are not the type of team that tries to play through the center. They don't have the players, except for Mabua, who has that early pass to break through the lines and find maybe a 9, who is also not so comfortable playing in front of the defense and holding the ball. So their best bet would be just getting around the Mamelodi Sundowns and getting in.
Now, after what was an unbelievably passionate, aggressive performance against Orlando Pirates, against Swelele, that wasn't the Chiefs that showed up. The question is today, how have Coach Khalil, Ben Yusf and Cedric Kazi been able to put that aside and motivate the Kaizer Chiefs side to come back with that passion, to come back with that aggression? Because in this game against Swelele, it was over really quickly.
Tactical periodization is important when you have 3-4 games that you need to win consecutively. The quick change of playing a very defensively organized team that is Chiefs against Pirates, they quickly changed from that. It was supposed to be a building block, because how they transition here from losing possession, to conceding a goal, already 5-6 players of Chiefs were ahead waiting to receive in the final third.
Mari passion. If there was something missing in it, it was passion, it was aggression, it was what had happened on the Sunday was not there.
Language ebekona, because when you're told that we're going to work hard in defense, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to be led, the attitude changes. When the aggression,
but if you look at this goal,
ball lost here, turn the counter-attack.
Even this one, the recovery from the players, especially the central midfielders, Umabo as well as Tele, they were just strolling recovering back. And Siwelele were very quick when they won the ball to actually dispatch it and then get behind them. At FNB, when you're playing against Orlando Pirates, everyone gets on their bike, they're being aggressive, they recover very quick. So the attitude that you were talking about.
They didn't leave the spaces that they had to sprint to. That's the first thing. Here they had a lot of spaces to sprint towards. They didn't leave enough space or too much space for them to be able to run into, because they knew Gutisanda Pirates, they have runners. You know, so they're going back with almost the same lineup. The only change is
that for Brandon Peterson. Then there's the back four for Kaizer Chiefs. A back four that is being asked to keep Mamelodi Sundowns' free scoring side out.
They could go with 5 because Modi is in there. You can't strictly go 4 with Cross, who's not as fast, and Munyane, who loves bombing forward. Against Pirates, he was staying, he was content in being there. The front 3, all of them have got goals, more than 10 goals between them, which means they have a transition, they have a bike in there. Musia has been speaking a lot about the speed that Lilepo has. Ushabalala also has the speed, and Umodi also exploits that, which means that the fullbacks of Chiefs need to stay put. Either they get to the halfway line, play the diagonal passes, send the ball and support from behind. If they want to overlap and overload, they will find themselves wanting, and it's going to be difficult for them to recover.
There's a player that I need to focus on there. Usipesihle Ndlovu against Orlando Pirates was ferocious. Will we see him deployed in a similar role to try and, you know, keep Mamelodi Sundowns' midfield that is so creative quiet, like he was able to try and do against Rile Mofokeng?
I think his defensive work is very impressive because he has a high work rate. That is something that he brings in each and every game. But when it comes to now, how he actually threatens the opposition, I think he lacks that early pass that you need as a midfielder to quickly see the passing line and find the players in front of you, which affects Abo Shabalala, Abo Lilepo sometimes. I think he will give you repetitions when it comes to actions in the midfield. He's going to be present. But when you play against a clever Mamelodi Sundowns, you need to do what Maboe does at times, where he quickly recognizes a player in front of him and play to him.
You said he's going to meet strong opposition. Coach Shorty, lento yokuthi afika athi bhathu is not going to work.
La uyohlangana nembilas thutha ngoba umukwena mawuza uthi sihlakulena uthi ntate kitswabla uma ke khona ubisa sihlaku. Adams is able to do that. I call him Einstein. Adams hits you and he wins the ball, he goes, which is something that Sia is talking about. Good. He lacks the element of retrieving possession and going. But Sundowns, they go fenku now, heart to heart, they win the ball and then they're able to transition, because there's a lot of them that are able to be crafters when it comes to them. Even Uzwane, he goes strong when he wants to get into it. Of which Pirates, most of those players, you understand? Lava, they understand Guti when it's time to hit. And that's something that Coach Rulani introduced to the Sundown side, to say, you gotta get stuck in there. Even though you play, even though you play Shushine and Piano, you have to be strong. Aerially, they're gonna be competing. On the ground, they're gonna be competing.
Loftus is a fortress for Mamelodi Sundowns. The last 4 home games against Kaizer Chiefs have been victories for Sundowns. So they've only conceded 1 goal in those 4 games and scored 9 for Kaizer Chiefs. The last time that they beat Mamelodi Sundowns was back in 2021. But this is the Betway Premiership, and after the break we'll hear what the coaches have to say about this encounter, not that history.
The Premier Soccer League is proud to present the Betway Premiership.
You get so much more with the ShopRite price because we buy in bulk and keep the price lower for longer. Save on Farm Best Fresh Chicken Dry Pack for a low 39 Rand. And Tastic Rice or Aunt Caroline Rice for only 139.99 each. Get so much more with the ShopRite price.
SuperSport delivers all the moments that matter this May. The City of Light ignites as clay court dreams are decided.
Oh, what a point!
Only on your World of Champions.
And all their modern ambition pace. There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the journey. It only remembers how it ends.
You bottle it. There's no other word. You bottle it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
That is outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
Let's go. Here we go.
Running my way, every scar marks a story. Every ounce of pain, like another page in this chapter titled Glory. Heartbeat steady, aim looking deadly. Don't let me in now, don't let me in now. Till it all died. I was made for this, I was made for this. So right now, I'm waiting for this. I've been 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 waiting for this.
Broadcast proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best.
This is where you can watch the rest of the matches that are taking place in the Betway Premiership today. When we look at Richards Bay up against Polokwane City. Polokwane City can go 6th and really try to make sure of a top 8 position. Richards Bay's last game was 0-0 against Mamelodi Sundowns. They'll have that confidence. Then when we look at Gallants as they take on their opposition in Galaxy, the second lowest scorers in the league are Marumo Gallants. They need to find goals if they want to move off the bottom of the Betway Premiership table. But only 18 goals in 26 games is an issue. But with Galaxy coming in after having lost the Nedbank Cup, maybe this is that occasion. And then the derby with AmaZulu and Golden Arrows should be fascinating, with the top goal scorer in the league, Junior Dion, looking to try and increase his goal scoring tally against Usutu. Now, Mamelodi Sundowns have been able to rely on the incredible goalkeeping that has been Ronwen Williams all season long. They come into this one, and this is the thing, guys. Can we point to anything like fatigue? They played 1 extra match compared to Kaizer Chiefs in the last week. Is that something that could be a factor today?
Not entirely. And the reason I'm saying that is because maybe they worked too hard Esishigo with a field that wasn't as nice. However, it wasn't one of the biggest pitches they played on. And the traveling hasn't been that hectic because they haven't gone out to KEF to come back and play here. They have the depth, and their periodization in this team has been immaculate and incredible, because how the coach has been resting players in important positions also has given them leeway and freeway to be able to be fit enough and not fatigued to continue playing and getting results. Yabana lesa skhathi Sundowns lokuthola ama 1-0. You could tell they are managing minutes and they're just saying, let's get a good result and not go overzealous about things.
Now, let's hear what it is that Coach Miguel Cardoso has to say. He will be very much aware of the fact that in August, it was a 0-0 draw. And Kaizer Chiefs were absolutely rock solid in that one. In fact, to the point that only 2 shots on target for Mamelodi Sundowns in that 0-0 draw in August. Limited Sundowns to just 7 shots on target, which was the lowest they've had all season long. He'll be aware of that. How is he going to try and deal with what Chiefs did in that last encounter against them. Let's hear from him.
Coach, thank you for joining me. It's win all your remaining games and you retain your Betway Premiership title. Is the equation that simple for Sundowns in these last 6 days of the league?
Yeah, interesting. 6 days, 3 matches. Obviously everything to decide, but every match becomes now absolutely decisive. So there's no margin for nothing more than as strong as possible attitude in the pitch. Look the opponents with the respect they deserve and the specificity of each team, but mostly look at us in order to put as much as possible all our capacity from the first minute to the end. Today is an important one, a strong opponent, obviously a special match, obviously in the panorama of South African football, but we have to take it exactly as I said before, so with responsibility, but with a strong will to do well.
You mentioned you are happy with both performance and result over the weekend. What's unique about the challenge that Chiefs pose, particularly tonight?
Well, Chiefs is a much stronger team than last year, especially in terms of options on the squad. You see the bench, they have front players with quality, both lined up and also on the bench to change the game, to bring energy. It's a team that is basically very stable in terms of table, so they don't play for, with all the respect, they don't play for nothing. It means that there's no really responsibility on the match, what sometimes is very good to give freedom for them to play. But we have to think about ourselves, as I said, focus on what we have as planned, and try to be as committed as possible with the possibilities we have in terms of building the game, and it's a one more detailed game. So detailed game, we need to be very focused so that we can make it fall for our side.
So 2 changes, but the aim remains the same, isn't it? Just 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. The objective is the same. 2 changes has to do with also a little bit of rotation. We cannot basically rotate much more because the team is coming from a good moment and mostly also comes from some stability in terms of behaviors. It's also important to get that stability. So that is the challenge when you play so many matches, is how you can still rotate a few players, keep some energy on the team, but not change it so much that you lose the way where you're going. So that's a little bit the intention.
All the best, Coach.
Thank you very much.
So let's get into a conversation about the last match that Mamelodi Sundowns played. Polokwane City, 3-0 victory there. There was an expectation that Polokwane City would put up more resistance in those 2 games, but the resistance wasn't there. 1-0, 3-0, workmanlike from Mamelodi Sundowns.
They probably caught Sundowns at the wrong time because now Sundowns are reacting from the true draws that they played, especially against Richards Bay. And now they went back to reliability. That's why you saw now about Masandawana coming into the team, because now you're looking for decisions, good decisions, which make it easy for you to win football games, which is the case here. This goal looks easy purely because there's reliable decisions being taken in each and every
Alende's pass to get them going forward immediately, then Masandawa's pass to give it to Matthews, then his finish. So much going right there, and these players will be on the field today.
A high quality side, you are guaranteed quality actions, consistent quality actions in decision-making areas that need you to make a decision in a split second. And it's the telepathy that is between all these players from the back. You look at the number of touches each player makes. It's swift. It's a direct pass. If I need to give in space, I'm telling you move. If I'm giving you to feet, it means I'm saying make that line-breaking pass.
How do you stop it? We see it. Polokwane City did what they could to try and stop it and couldn't. What is the solution to all that intelligence, all that instant good decision-making that Mamelodi Sundowns bring?
Firstly, you need to see who's making the most passes, and it's always the goalkeeper that is starting the action. So if you don't allow him to play gamnandi all the time,
so it
and you must take care of the next phase of playing, because they're able to say when it comes to defense, they can bypass midfield, it goes wide, then it comes back. You must be ready to shift as swiftly as possible. There's no lapse of concentration, lapse of communication. It needs to be clear, precise, right on time when you are talking. Also, be aware of the spaces where they are targeting. It's easy to play against a big team because they are predictable. However, their efficiency is not predictable.
Tell me about Jaden.
Jaden Adams is a player that has played 1,365 minutes in the team. It's the 9 players that have played over 1,300 minutes, which means everything also goes through him. Mokoena has held the team so long until Adams came in. Ngimbizo Einstein, because he's able to come in as a 6, and how he opens up to receive the ball and even open up to say, let it pass me, then I'll come behind. He allows Mokoena to go into areas where he can exploit going forward, and he changes gears as quickly as possible, and he's able to join the attack, be the second attacking midfielder that allows Ayenda to push up. He's also able to plug on the sides where Mokoena pushes on the other side, he plugs on the sides.
So
where
Superman.
Superman, Einstein. Einstein.
Agana kryptonite.
Bona. Ilas nambale.
Yeah?
Wakanda. Ilas nambale.
If you had to come up with a strategy to deal with a Jaden, what do you do?
Well, to deal with a team like that, the first thing is to get your 1v1 right. So everyone in your team, that is the Chiefs team in this case, the 1v1 has to be good, because if you fail to actually get that right, then the rest will just fall apart. And I think when you play against the players like SMP is saying, about Adams, about Mokoena, these are thinkers. You know, they'll try to outsmart you. So
good enough
1v1 will be informed by how quick you recover and how stubborn you actually provide that resistance, because the coach can only give you intentions. But the 1v1s are individual. So that's why I'm emphasizing on that. Whenever I've played and came across a team like that has better quality than us, the only way that we could win that game is when everyone provides good 1v1, both on the ball and off the ball.
Now let's listen to what Coach Ben Yusf has to say. After the Soweto Derby, he was very clear in terms of where he stood. He said he doesn't care who wins the league title, and they'd be focusing on the job that they need to do as Kaizer Chiefs. Let's hear how he feels about this one against Mamelodi Sundowns.
Coach, thank you for joining me. First, let's start with the physical, recovery from the team. We saw just how flat the side was in Bloemfontein last week. We see 2 of the players who had featured in the Soweto Derby come back into the starting lineup. Are you satisfied with where the team is with what remains of the season?
Thank you. I think we struggled a little bit last game because we had only 2 days after the derby. So it was a little bit tough, more mentally difficult for us than physical. I think after this game we had like 1 week to get rest. All the team is ready today to fight and to continue to compete, except just Duba. He feel like small pain, and we take the decision with the medical staff to give him rest for this game.
Cross is back, Ndlovu is back, as is Da Silva, who starts for the first time in 3 matches. The message that you've sent then to the team today in front of a sold-out affair?
I think it's the same squad now. Last 6 or 7 games, same squad. Like I said, the only substitution is Duba, because, like I said, he feel small pain and we don't want to take the risk with him, with the medical staff. So Silva will take the responsibility as a striker. Lilepo will be in the right side. But the other players are the same. We are keeping the same squad, the same player that played last few games.
The importance then of not starting as slow as you did a week ago today?
I think from the beginning we have to show that we are coming here to win this game. I know that this game is very important for the opponent team, but also it's very important for us to continue to compete and to fight, to get the maximum of the point and to finish in the best position in the league.
All the best, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Coach Ben Yusf is saying they're coming to win it. Does the lineup that he's selected to start today indicate that to you, Sia?
Yes, of course. It does indicate to me that they want to provide a bit of resistance. When you see a Pule Modi down the left, you're thinking, okay, Mdao bombs forward and Pule has the energy to track and then threaten also a little bit. But then you have also a Lilepo who can run behind the defense. You have a Silva, when you bring the ball into the box, then he knows what to do. And you have Obomunyane who are able to do that, and a cross from a deeper position can also do that. Mabo as well. And you also have a Shabalala who now gets into the box and gets the goals, and also has the willingness now to actually involve the players around him and setting them up with the assists.
Yeah, I know the impact player that you feel is most critical today for Kaizer Chiefs is the Silver Fox in the box, Flavio Silva. I'm trying to understand, if they don't get the ball to him, How is he going to be impactful?
That's because I don't expect Chiefs to be able to play through the center, because Sundowns actually anticipate and then they read the passing lines very well. So Chiefs will try to go around. They have Bo Munyane, they have Lilepo to provide the pace. So they're going to come from, most of their goals come from the side. And I think Sundowns understand that. That will be something that they will plan against them as well. But when that now comes into effect, then you need someone reliable in the box, whether you bring it in the air or you bring it on the ground or wherever. Silva is able to provide that flexibility in the box to be able to actually provide the perfect finish, the suitable finish for whatever ball is played into him. He's a top poacher. That's why he has the 7 goals right now.
I want to talk very quickly about that Chiefs defense, though, because if they've shown a vulnerability, as much as you talk about Chiefs being strung out wide, they have conceded 5 goals from headers. And that tells you 30% of the goals they have conceded have come in from a ball in the air. What's happening that is making that possible and making that a weakness for Chiefs?
It's because they don't double up enough to make sure which they deal with the primary defensive role of saying, do we close the cross? Where do they concede these set pieces as well? What time do they concede these set pieces? Who's still on the field? If Flavio is still on the field, what do you do? You know, so it's important for Chiefs to understand that they can't be giving off space in areas where a cross comes in. They can't be giving off spaces where they are not well positioned to defend that.
Because do that ball so well. That ball that they throw into that back post in that dangerous area is something they've mastered.
It's your positioning. It's your positioning more than anything. It's your positioning. That's why I said when Modi's in there, it means they are ready to defend with 5. When they do it with 5, it means crosses there. You've got Msimango there. You also have cross that will come in. When he does that, it means that you have enough bodies that will be able, McCarthy is also in there to deal with the cross that comes in, because only when you have 2 that are sitting there, it becomes so difficult. And Undlovu is also able to come between the centre backs to give you 3. Now, Peterson is an added defender that comes in because he's done so well in catching those crosses coming in, which means that the full backs and the centre backs cannot find themselves on islands where you are going too early, I'm covering you too early. Where are we defending? Where are we defending? Let the cross come in. If it does come in, let's be ready to defend and win the second ball.
You know, any ball that goes into the box and is about to be headed by an opposition, it becomes a 1v1 situation. That's why I emphasized on 1v1. It just ignores the structure. Now it speaks about who should be picking who, and whoever scores, it's the fault of whoever that is next to him. And it has nothing to do now with your original position, because now you can move across and nullify someone who's a threat, who can head the ball into goal. And Chiefs' problem when it comes to these headed goals has always been the 1v1s, the decisions by the players to actually anticipate and have the awareness in the box to actually go across sometimes when there's a need.
Be decisive to say, am I going to hit that ball, or I'm thinking I'm still... Intuition, go into it.
And I can tell you one thing that's likely to happen in this one as well is that with the World Cup getting closer, the players out on the field will be trying to impress Coach Hugo Bruce and saying, this is the kind of game I know, Coach, you'll be watching and you'll be looking at to try and make a decision as to whether I can book my seat on that plane. The World Cup is on the horizon. The World of Champions is bringing you everything. Take a look.
Allow me to take you on an international trip.
Our eyes are on the FIFA World Cup.
Going all the way through! Oh, goal! 10 African nations in the FIFA World Cup.
The African continent believes!
Over the next 39 days.
Which team you follow?
Morocco.
Fantasy League.
Dikoloto.
Outfits of the day.
Complaining that DSTV subscription is expensive in 2026? That can wait.
Everything can wait.
All eyes on the FIFA World Cup.
On DSTV and GoTV.
Everything can wait. And the World Cup means these are the 10 nations that will be competing at that World Cup. Guys, who's going the furthest? You look at the 10 nations, who's going the furthest, in your opinion, of those 10 nations?
Senegal, definitely. Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire. Bafana is going further, but we might not go the furthest.
Maria Pume Krupin.
Yeah, Sia Pume Krupin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Usho?
Yeah.
Utembeni?
Hey, sina 11 official languages nenkalakatha laphayana. So ngeke basizwe noma sithi shapa nto hawula tsebe e o refite. Khata tsebe e o khata khonsi e o refite. No, I do believe we have been so organized and ready to compete at that level. We can't qualify in such a manner and just go there to add numbers.
And we bring some of the best players on the world stage there. I mean, you're Mo Salah in that Egyptian squad. It looks like he's going to overcome his injury and be part of the equation there. Carlos Queiroz, having taken over the Black Stars of Ghana now recently, they'll be looking to be more stable, more powerful, and a reminder of a side that just missed out on the semi-finals of the World Cup in 2010. Capo Verde. You know, we don't know what to expect from Capo Verde. Their first World Cup. It's going to be fascinating.
Very much, and the players are looking forward to it. DRC also very, very big because of how they qualified also in the last minute, and there's a huge buzz in the country. But Cote d'Ivoire, very useful team as well. And I think not everybody is expecting anything from them, but I think there'll be a huge surprise.
Amo Ahmed doing the business there for Cote d'Ivoire. Can't wait to bring you that World Cup. But now, let's refocus on what's happening at Loftus. Coach, predict this game.
2-1 to Sundowns.
Simple kanjalo nje.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Sundowns hasn't... Actually, they've won 4 consecutive games against the Chiefs. Angeke bayeke manje. And the reason why ngithi ngeke bayeke manje is because akuzi intuthwane emva kwabo. Kuzi giant emva kwabo, that is Orlando Pirates. So they don't want to leave anything for chance. They are defending this title and going for the 9th one.
Sia, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think Chiefs have shown that they can go to Loftus and get a result. Like I said, with the Nedbank Cup semi-final win last season, and also the draw at FNB earlier on in the season. I think they do have a chance, based on the fact that there's not so much that they are looking forward to, so the pressure is not so much on them. I think they will still a win today, 1-0.
Siyabana pressure bamelu number 3 ukuthi baye
They are 5 points ahead of whoever is behind them. I mean,
no,
it's not like
5 points ahead now before the game starts. Amazulu beats Golden Arrows. The gap is 2 points. Next for Kaizer Chiefs, it is going to be Amazulu with Arthur Zwani coming in saying, against my former club, Ngenza Shaw. Pela Africa is not guaranteed right now.
No, le pressure so we explain kangaka. Le pressure so we explain kangaka.
I'm just saying.
If that place for Chiefs is guaranteed now. And because of the fact that it's 5 points cushion, that 5 points cushion is actually who's behind Chiefs there?
Kukune. Maria Amazulu idlala namhlanje. Iyadlala nayo. Same time.
And Chiefs is playing Kukune on Sunday. I don't think the two teams that are behind them are going to overtake Chiefs. Based on how they fed also themselves during the season.
Amazulu yeza nayo Chiefs.
When it comes to consistency, Amazulu, yes, they won.
The last game was
5-1, yes, but before that, there hasn't been consistency. So that is why I'm saying Chiefs have done well to actually create that cushion. It's going to be difficult for the other teams because Kukune as well has been inconsistent in their application. I think they've put themselves in the best position to actually qualify.
Who are your match winners for Mamelodi Sundowns today?
Sorry?
Who are your match winners?
Adams definitely Leon, Shikabala, and most importantly, Williams is going to be key.
Key.
Yeah.
So Chiefs, your tester. Your tester Williams. That's what I'm hearing. Who are your match winners? Sia, very quickly.
It has to be Da Silva, Lilepo, Shabalala, and Maboe.
It's going to be good. This is it. It is the 60th PSL era match between the two sides. And maybe never has it been as important between the two sides for 3 points to come to either side, Mamelodi Sundowns or Kaizer Chiefs. The beauty of this one is you get to see it live on your World of Champions. Get your phone out and do the other thing where you're watching some of the other matches on your DSTV stream at the same time.
don't think they should be doing Pirates a favor. I think it should be more for their own growth, because in the same time that we're talking about Chiefs and Pirates and Sundowns, those teams have been winning. Right now, you have to look inward and just focus inside and say, you know what, we just need to win the games that need to be won, and you take it from there.
I always say, if Pirates are going to be the Betway Premiership champions, they need to earn it. It's easy for me to say, no, we want to win it, but do they have the right to earn it? Have they done enough to earn to be the championship, to be the champions? I mean, we all see and we all know what Mamelodi Sundowns have been doing. So I don't think Chiefs needs to do any favors.
One of the lessons that Pirates has to take from this is that you have to do it yourself. You have to be able to go and win the games that you need to go win.
For the person that is watching football from a neutral perspective, you would want a different winner. I think you would want someone else to win it. Whether it's Pirates, whether it's Polokwane City, whether it's Sekune, you'd want someone else to win it. Because when it becomes one way, it becomes a little bit like it's too predictable. But if you're asking me as a Chiefs fan, would I want Pirates to win the league? I plead the fifth.
Stadium.
What pereso? Never.
To the stadium, and you could win up to 20,000 rand at every Betway Premiership match. See, and win.
Better quality, better finish. Measure twice.
Measure twice.
Cut once.
Cut once.
Lefty loosey,
Righty tighty.
Wow, babe. Your dad would be so proud.
I know.
Amstel. Slow brewed and extra matured for 21 days. Hey, man. And then careful, it's gonna... Hey, son.
I got this.
No, I got this. It's slow brewed and extra matured to be spilled. Really?
Don't worry, we did.
Danko. Let's go again. Carefully slow brewed, extra matured, and perfected by friendship. That's Amstel. Not for persons under the age of 18.
SuperSport delivers all the moments that matter this May. Heavyweights battle for the ultimate club crown.
Oh, it's a glorious goal!
Only on your World of Champions.
When it comes to family time, one's idea of fun isn't everyone's idea of...
Fun. So much fun. Come on. Guys, how about some spare ribs? Yes!
But now, with Spur's 400 grams of slow-cooked, 24-hour marinated ribs, served with Spur-style crispy onion rings and golden chips for just $149.90, it's easy for everyone to agree to agree. Spur. People with a taste for life.
The wait is over. Shield is now Rexona. Rexona, it won't let you down.
Make every move awesome with the new Galaxy A17. Capture viral-worthy dust and splash-resistant content. Get the Galaxy A17 today. Awesome for your hustle.
Just 2 points in it. 3 games to go in this blockbuster Betway Premiership campaign. The reigning kings, Mamelodi Sundowns, have a slight edge ahead of what could be a season-defining showdown against old foes Kaizer Chiefs under lights at Loftus. A very warm welcome to Achille Tshwane and to Arcadia's famous old sporting venue. This is the legendary Loftus Versfeld Stadium. It's a fairly cold evening here, this Wednesday evening. A venue at capacity for what remains one of the most compelling fixtures on the calendar, no matter what the context. And so often over the past few seasons, this match has lacked the level of consequence that makes tonight's meeting absolutely unmissable. Sundowns fans have packed the grandstand. Chiefs fans on the far side. Sundowns have been really squeezing in Betway Premiership fixtures recently in an effort to wrap up their league obligations ahead of their two-legged CAF Champions League final. And over the weekend they did move 5 points clear of Pirates at the summit, but the Buccaneers responded last night with a convincing win over Stellenbosch. So both they and Sundowns have just 3 games remaining. The Brazilians' advantage at the top, just 2 points. There is absolutely no room for error now. And they do tend to hardly put a foot wrong here at Loftus. They're unbeaten at home in the league this season, dropping points only twice. In fact, Sundowns have lost only 1 of their last 48 home games in all competitions in open play. But that defeat just happens to have been at the hands of Kaizer Chiefs just over a year ago in the Nedbank Cup semi-finals. So Kaizer Chiefs more than capable of springing a surprise, and they did hold Sundowns in this season's reverse. Let's look at the lineups where Mamelodi Sundowns report 2 changes. Kalisa Moda returns at right back. He's in place of Tabela Morena. And meanwhile, up front, Brian Leon starts for the first time in a month. He comes on for Ikram Reyners, who will be available to make an impact off the bench this evening. Allow me now to introduce a man who has played in this great fixture. It is William Shongwe. He'll take you through the formations.
Ronald Williams, they have a presence, they have a green, and 4 in front of him. But what is good about this 4 in front of him is Mudau and Mudiwa on the far side. They'll be allowed to push forward. And Jaden Adams just behind these 3 that we see in the middle, meaning that just Mokoena and his 3 will push forward at any given time to add into the attack. 6 for Sundowns. Can Chiefs deal with that is the big question.
Well, let's look at the 11 that Chiefs will field here. They have made 3 changes from the defeat to Sibelele last week. Brad Cross returns in favour of Paseka Marco at left back. Spesitle and Globo replaces Taylor. Both of them left out of the previous squad with a little bit of fatigue and a niggle. And then we have Silva in for Duba. Unfortunately, Wandile Duba unavailable due to a groin strain. He has scored previously against Mamelodi Sundowns. A big miss.
Flat 4 at the back, but boosted by 2 midfielders in Ndlovu and Mabowe. And then everybody else will be trying to see if they can open up the Sundowns defense or even keep the pressure higher so that their defense is not threatened. But Silva, for me, very key tonight with all the deliveries and the crosses. He's the man that is normally there to receive.
Kolobari is the man in charge of today's proceedings. He'll be assisted by Romario Piri and Romeo Matubidi. He's in conversation with the 2 captains here. Tembazani for the hosts and Brandon Peterson for Amakosi. There's a brilliant atmosphere already on this chilly evening. They did meet on a Wednesday back in August where they played out a 0-0 draw. First time in 19 years that they'll play both their league matches on a Wednesday evening. Will we get goals once again here today? Always a superb spectacle, although August reverse was that goalless stalemate, but all 19 games that came prior had goals, and often many, and that's what the tens of thousands attending tonight are anticipating as we get up and running at Loftus Versfeld. Mamelodi Sundowns looking to re-establish their 5 points cushion at the top of the standings, but its Chiefs have made the strong start here, looking for something down that right-hand flank.
If you got Elilepo on your side, you're going to feed him with so much movement going forward.
Now it's Tashreeq Matthews flying forward. Tembazwane looking for the return. And Brandon Peterson hoofs it clear. They look destined to go out, but